Coming up on Chapman News, on this International Women's Day, we'll take a look at the unprecedented number of women running for president.
Gender discrimination at your local drugstore? We'll show you how women are paying more than men for the same item.
And Captain Marvel comes to the big screen. And guess what? She's a woman. All that and more on today's edition of Chapman News.
From Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon, I'm Brad Benson.
And I'm Natalie Rawson. We begin today with a major political development.
Paul Manafort, who ran President Trump's election campaign for 5 months, is facing nearly 4 years in prison after being convicted of cheating on taxes and bank fraud. That's a light sentence. He could have gotten 20 to 24 years under the recommended sentencing guidelines. The case against Manafort is the highest profile case brought by the special counsel Robert Mueller so far. It's a spectacular fall for a man who made millions as a powerful lawyer and lobbyist on Capitol Hill, and his troubles aren't over. Next week, he'll be sentenced in a D.C. federal court on additional charges. This could get him an additional 10 years in prison. Here's what he had to say in court on Thursday. Manafort states, "The last 2 years have been the most difficult years of my life for my family and I. To say that I feel humiliated and ashamed would be a gross understatement. I know it is my conduct that brought me here. My life is professionally and financially in shambles." Manafort is one of 34 people Robert Mueller has brought charges against and one of 4 going to jail so far. The conviction has nothing to do with the alleged collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia during the 2016 presidential election. Manafort could end up serving less time, and the president says he hasn't ruled out giving Manafort a pardon.
Support is pouring in after Alex Trebek reveals he has been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Here's what he said on the air.
Now, normally the prognosis for this is not very encouraging, but I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to keep working, and with the love and support of my family and friends, and with the help of your prayers also, I plan to beat the low survival rate statistics for this disease.
Jeopardy contestant Ken Jennings shared this tweet stating, "Trebek is in a way the last Cronkite, authoritative, reassuring TV voice you hear every night." Alex Trebek has been the face of Jeopardy since 1984. He plans to finish out the current season of the show.
R&B singer R. Kelly spoke publicly for the first time since he was first arrested 2 weeks ago on sexual abuse charges. In an interview with CBS Tuesday co-host Gayle King, Kelly claimed that the accusations of physical and sexual abuse from numerous women are false. Despite stating claim the majority of the 8-minute-long talk with King, Kelly completely lost his control in this uncut portion of the interview.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
Hours after CBS aired the interview, Kelly had a closed court hearing in Chicago regarding his unpaid child support. Following the preceding, he was taken into custody and is behind bars once again.
Just ahead of the Women's World Cup, all 28 members of the women's national soccer team are suing the United States Soccer Federation. Today, they accuse the Federation of gender discrimination over unequal pay and working conditions. U.S. Soccer has declined to comment. The Women's World Cup will kick off this June in France. It is unclear if the suit will affect the team's participation.
A new record down at the border. Last month, more people crossed the southwestern border than in any February in the last 10 years. The government says more than 66,000 people crossed the border in February. That's more than 2,300 per day. Many came from the so-called Northern Triangle, which consists of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Both sides in the immigration debate are using the numbers to try to make their case. The Trump administration cite the high numbers as reasons to build the wall, and Democrats say the numbers are high but are still historically low.
No doubt immigration will be a big issue in the race for president next year.
And even though the Iowa caucus is a whole year away, there are already a dozen or so Democrats in the race. Olivia Young reports.
After a polarizing presidential election in 2016, all eyes are on Washington as the 2020 Democratic election ticket is shaping up. But there is one familiar face we won't be seeing. Hillary Clinton announced this week she will not be running in the 2020 presidential election. Meanwhile, her former opponent, Bernie Sanders, has officially announced that he will be.
I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president. And I'm asking you today to be part of an unprecedented grassroots campaign.
In 2016, Sanders had overwhelming support from millennials and progressives. But will the young voters in 2020 feel the same? Sanders isn't the only candidate with eyes on 2020. 11 other candidates have officially announced campaigns so far, with more on the way. After a wave of success in the 2018 midterm elections, with the Democratic Party taking the House of Representatives and growing diversity in the Senate, Democrats are hopeful about the opportunity to unseat President Trump in the upcoming election.
I'm running to be president of the people, by the people, and for all people.
But there is something unique about this election. Will 2020 be the year the United States elects a female president for the first time in history? 5 women have already declared their candidacy, more than ever before. California's own Senator Kamala Harris, Me Too advocate Kirsten Gillibrand, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, and progressive favorite Elizabeth Warren are just a few of the women who could take the Democratic Party by storm in 2020. Clinton shattered the glass ceiling in 2016 by becoming the first female presidential nominee for a major party.
And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet.
But after her loss to Trump, some strategists believe Democrats shouldn't nominate another woman. Despite concerns about sexism hurting their chances, these female candidates are pushing boundaries for women in politics and leadership. Not all candidates are women, however. Others who have declared include New Jersey Senator and rising star Cory Booker and former Housing Secretary Julian Castro. Former Vice President Joe Biden has been toying with the idea of running and has still not released a formal statement.
Most important people in my life want me to run. I don't want this to be a fool's errand. I want to make sure that if we do this, and we're very close to getting to a decision, that I am fully prepared to do it.
And Biden's not the only one hinting at an upcoming announcement. Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke, who narrowly lost to Ted Cruz in the midterms, said last week he has, quote, made a decision. As to what that decision is, we'll just have to wait and see. The primaries may be a year away, but debates start this June. And after a controversial election in 2016, the road to 2020 promises to be one for the history books.
On this International Women's Day, we thought we'd take a look at some of the women running for the Democratic nomination. There are a record number this year.
And joining us now is Dr. Lori Cox Hahn, a political science professor, and has written widely on the American presidency. Dr. Hahn, welcome.
Thanks.
So there are 5 women that have announced that they are running. What's your reaction to that?
I think that 5 women running is a phenomenal number to have at this point because we've never had more than 2 running at the same time. We had Hillary Clinton for the Democrats in 2016 and Carly Fiorina for Republicans. So this is a pretty big step forward in terms of electing the first woman president.
And now, what specifically impresses you about this group?
This group is very diverse in terms of their racial ethnic background, in terms of their ideological perspective, as well as their geographic perspective and where they come from in this country. So I think that's a really important thing.
So if the women that are running do not become the presidential candidate, do you think one of them has a shot at getting on the ticket for the vice president?
I think if Democrats are smart, they're going to have at least one woman on their ticket, either as presidential nominee or vice presidential nominee. If they nominate a man, I think that one of these 5 women has to be the running mate. I think that it is essential right now, especially after the success that women had in the 2018 midterm elections.
Would you say that gender is still an issue in presidential campaigns?
It is, not in the way that a lot of people think. If you are the presidential nominee or the vice presidential nominee, you have the full support of the Democratic Party behind you, or the same is true if the Republicans nominate someone. And so then it becomes, about many different things. You are solidified on the ticket and you just automatically have a lot of support. That doesn't mean that there isn't still, issues with gender and bias out there against women candidates, but I don't think it's quite as debilitating as it used to be.
Okay, I know it's still a year away, but do you think there's a favorite?
I think of these 5 women, the 2 that I consider to be leading contenders are Kamala Harris and Amy Klobuchar. They're both senators. Kamala Harris coming from California, obviously that gives her a huge advantage in the primaries to win this state, especially since the California primary is going to be early. She's also a very skilled politician. She's really good on the campaign trail, really personable, and I think that works to her advantage. Amy Klobuchar, on the other hand, is a more experienced legislator. Been in the Senate a lot longer, but she comes from a part of the country that Democrats really need to win if they want to win back the White House in 2020. So, Minnesota was competitive in a way for between Clinton and Trump in a way it shouldn't have been really. It's a strongly blue state. Trump did pretty well, and it's because in that part of the country, in the Rust Belt, in that Midwestern section of the country, Amy Klobuchar represents a slightly more moderate view and brings some of the older Democrats, old school Democrats back in that are more concerned with economic issues, as opposed to what Kamala Harris could do is excite the base on more progressive issues.
All right, well, Dr. Hahn, thank you so much for joining us here on Chapman News.
Sure.
Women in Space. NASA announces the first ever all-women mission.
Gender discrimination at your local drugstore? We'll show you how women sometimes pay more than men for the same item.
And will we have another wet weekend? I'll have more on that and your forecast after this.
Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
It's one small step for NASA, one giant leap for womankind. NASA announced Tuesday that its first ever all-female spacewalk will take place on March 29th. Astronauts Anne McClain and Christina Koch will be aided on the ground by an all-female flight director team to replace batteries that were installed last summer. Of the roughly 500 people who have been to space, less than 11% have been women. For McClain and Koch, it will be their first ever spacewalk.
Gender discrimination is everywhere, even when you go to the drugstore. Sienna Platt has the story.
It's annoying because I like pretty colors and I like pink and purple and stuff, but I hate having to pay extra for it.
She's talking about what's called the pink tax. In California, it's illegal to charge more for services based on someone's gender, but for products, manufacturers can charge whatever they want.
It's a little upsetting, but I'm not surprised because usually women's products tend to have, they're both made of different things, and they probably have better quality when it comes to scent and the way that it helps different types of skin and stuff like that.
There's an assumption that maybe women will pay for it. You know what I mean? We're more likely to pay for convenience or a product that we actually really like.
A study by the New York Consumer Affairs Department shows that women pay an average of 7% more than men for similar items such as personal care, toys, and apparel. A difference not everyone knows about.
Immediately I'm feeling outrage and makes me want to investigate it further myself. I want to start now comparing products. I have never heard of this, so it's actually very shocking to me.
We went to Target to compare products and see just how much the pink tax affects women.
These are both Gillette moisturizing shaving creams. This one is $3.49. This is $1.99. We're here in the toy aisle where we have 2 helmets that are from the same brand. This one is $23. This one is over $28. These are both the generic deodorants for Dove. This one's for women, and it's 50 cents more than this one for men. And this one has more in it than this one.
After ringing up all of the items, the male's total was $45.64, and the female's was $55.61. That's almost a $10 difference.
I don't think it's right to stereotype one specific gender and then exploit that gender's quote unquote weaknesses or interests in order to make more money.
A solution?
Awareness is a really big thing, and if you allow people to become more aware of the world that they're living in today, society overall, people usually tend to make a change.
For Chapman News, I'm Sienna Platt.
think I might have to look into buying men's products if I'm
Yeah,
trying to save some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Virgin Atlantic will no longer require their female flight attendants to wear skirts or makeup. This to allow employees more choices on how they want to express themselves at work. Virgin Atlantic has been known for their female flight attendants' all-red uniform, lipstick, heels, and skirt. Now, pants will be an additional option.
President Trump is paying a visit to Alabama this morning following a series of devastating tornadoes that killed 23 people and injured dozens. 12 tornadoes struck the state and about 30 tornadoes hammered the southeast earlier this week. Lee County, Alabama was hit the hardest where the most deaths occurred, and 4 of them were children. Our hearts are all with those affected by this tragedy. This week we have Olivia Young in the Weather Center with our local forecast.
Thanks, Brad. Well, it looks like we can expect a pretty nice day today in Orange as we're coming up on spring. It's 59 degrees right now and partly cloudy, and the sunshine will be peeking through today. As for the rest of Orange County, we have pretty similar temperatures with highs of 60 degrees in Westminster, Orange, and Newport Beach, 59 in Irvine, Mission Viejo, and Laguna, and a little cooler down in San Clemente with a high of 57. As for the rest of SoCal, we're looking at a high of 61 in Santa Barbara, pretty similar temperatures down through San Diego, a bit cooler out on Catalina Island with a high of 56, and a lot cooler in Big Bear with a high of 32. Our warmest temperature is going to be in Palm Springs with a high of 65. Back here in Orange, I have our 5-day. Like I said today, sunny and pretty nice, and tomorrow a high of 60 and low of 47. We will be seeing some showers on Sunday and Monday, but the sunshine will be back on Tuesday with a high of 65. Speaking of sunshine, don't forget that daylight savings happens this weekend, so set your clocks forward 1 hour on Sunday. That's all I have for you today. I'm Olivia Young, and have a great weekend.
Still ahead on Chapman News, Captain Marvel features a new superhero, and for the first time, she's a woman.
And coming up on the Best Campus Sports Show, find out about the woman who's breaking gender barriers in the booming esports industry.
Hey guys, how are you today? Good. I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life. Is that you? That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things. I want your job. I want you to have my job.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Best Campus Sports Show. I'm Pranav Iyer. Chiquita Evans made history this week when she was the first female player drafted in the NBA's Esports League.
With the second pick of the 4th round in the NBA 2K League draft, Warriors Gaming Squad selects Chiquita, 126, from Illinois.
Evans is a former college and semi-pro basketball player that now joins the fast-growing sport industry of esports. Following last year's inaugural season with no female players, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver referred to the lack of gender diversity a disappointment for all of us so far. The league tried to solve this problem by holding focus groups with top female gamers, and 2 women qualified for the draft following an online combine. Evans was drafted and the other remains a free agent. Now that Evans is moving to Oakland, she wants to have a real-life shooting competition with Steph Curry. Another woman making history is diver Kellen Toole. Last weekend, she competed at the NCAA Division III regional competition and qualified for the national championship, becoming the first person in program history to do so. She took first place in the 1-meter dive and third place in the 3-meter and qualified in both events. Brad Benson met up with her at the pool for this week's edition of Athlete of the Week.
I'm here with Kellen Toole. She's on the diving team, so today we're going to be diving with a little bit of a twist. We're going to be jumping off the boards and trying to catch a ball. 5 attempts each, and whoever catches the most wins. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. You qualified for nationals in both the 1-meter and 3-meter dives. What are you most looking forward to about going to nationals?
I think mainly just the experience. I've never qualified before, so that's something that's just super exciting for me. So it's just gonna be a fun time. No expectations really, just because this is the highest I've ever gotten, so it's just gonna be a fun time.
You're the first person in Chapman history to qualify for nationals. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think it's really cool. Like I said, going into regionals, I wasn't really expecting anything, but I went out there and I did my best and it turned out really well. So it's just really exciting that I can represent Chapman at the national level.
You did gymnastics in high school. How much of that gymnastics background has contributed to your diving success?
Oh, I would say a good majority, because in gymnastics, it's really, you have a lot of body awareness, and in diving, that's a big part of it, is your body awareness. So transitioning from gymnastics to diving, I already knew like how to do flips and everything. The hardest thing for me was just learning to go in on my head. That took a little bit of adjusting, because in gymnastics, if you go on your head, like you land on your head, that's like not a good thing. But here it's like you want to go in on your head. So like I said, that body awareness was a big thing that carried over from gymnastics into diving and really helped me with the transition.
All right, well, Kellen got 2 and I only got 1, so I guess she's just proven why she's going to nationals and I'm not. For Kellen Toole and Brad Benson, this has been another edition of Athlete of the Week.
Kellen will head to Greensboro, North Carolina for the national championships. And up the 57 in Fullerton, basketball manager Sammy Jones had maybe the biggest night of his life. Take a look.
Coming into the ball game is Sammy Jones for the Titans. He has been the team manager for Cal State Fullerton for the last 4 years. He is suiting up tonight. He got clearance from the NCAA to do so. And he will suit up for senior night next week against Hawaii. Just a great moment, and he will dribble off some time here. Sammy Jones gets some spotlight here. And he got the basket.
He made the most of his one opportunity. That was accumulation of 4 years of selfless work. But little did he know that his personal moment would catapult him into an overnight celebrity. I sat down with him to talk about the historic day and the crazy aftermath.
I got back to the locker room after the game. I just looked at my phone and I had seen men's basketball Twitter, our men's basketball Twitter, posted a video just saying an incredible moment. So I didn't really think much of it. So I actually went out to dinner with some friends after. People were coming up to me at dinner saying congratulations, which was pretty unique. And then to wake up Friday morning to see that ESPN had picked up the video was just unbelievable. I mean, I think every kid dreams about being on ESPN one day, and I fulfilled my dream with that. And then to wake up Saturday morning and see it on College Game Day and hear guys like Jay Billis, Jay Williams, Seth Greenberg talk about you on live television is incredible as well. I mean, I don't know if I really have the words to describe how it felt to see the national attention it got, but I definitely wasn't expecting it to get national attention.
Jones will be honored at senior night this Saturday for his efforts as a team manager and an honorary player. He will also have the opportunity to suit up for the last time. The LeBron James versus Michael Jordan debate will probably live on forever. Earlier this week, LeBron helped his case by passing Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list. Take a look.
Gets it to James. LeBron takes it to the rim and finishes with the left, and he's fouled. The legend of LeBron continues. He moves past his idol, MJ, for fourth on the all-time scoring list.
You see the delivery from Rondo.
LeBron making history and appreciating it. And I like the fans. Okay, things not going our way, but still take a moment to acknowledge witnessing greatness.
While LeBron may be inching closer to immortality, the Lakers keep inching away from playoff contention, down 6.5 games with just 17 to play. Well, that's all I've got for you today on the Best Campus Sports Show. I'm Pranav Iyer.
What do In-N-Out and Puma sneakers have in common, and why could they end up in court together?
And what's the newest trend that has people throwing shoes around their homes? Find out after the break.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hey guys, it's Gianna Gravelisi back again to serve you the hottest tea in entertainment this week, starring some queens in celebration of International Women's Day. Have no fear, Brie Larson is here, and she's playing Marvel's first woman superhero in Captain Marvel. But we won't be seeing the stereotypical woman superhero in this film. Larson's character has no love interest, no slim-fitting costume, and don't need no man. Not only that, but Captain Marvel was directed, edited, scored by, and written by all women. Take a look.
If it's real, I keep having these memories. I see flashes. I think I had a life here. But I can't tell if it's real.
The film, which came out today, is estimated to rake in $150 million, a noteworthy high after box office revenue hit an all-time low this February for the first time in 17 years. So, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Aquaman, take notes. You know, I've been thinking Kylie Jenner and I really aren't that different. I mean, we're both women, we're both 21, we both have sisters. Well, I mean, I guess she's a billionaire and I'm not yet. Anyway, on Wednesday, Forbes published their list of America's richest self-made women, including Jenner. But this has prompted the question of, is she really self-made?
Do you know how to do your own laundry?
No.
Do you know anything about credit?
Not really.
Do you know how to iron? What? Kylie.
Forbes wrote that they define self-made as someone who built a company or established a fortune on their own, rather than having or inheriting all or some of it. But Dictionary.com's official Twitter didn't really agree, stating that self-made is defined as having succeeded in life unaided. So I'm sure Kris Jenner had absolutely nothing to do with Kylie's new title. But hey, if you're also not a billionaire, throw your Vans in the air like you just don't care. Yes, I said Vans. After a Twitter user posted a video throwing his shoes with the caption, "Did you know it doesn't matter how you throw your Vans, they will land facing up?" the whole internet followed in what we now know as the #Vans Challenge. Vans has yet to comment on the phenomenon, so people will be throwing their shoes on the ground until the next internet trend rolls around. That's all the hot tea I have for you guys this week. I have to go figure out how to be a billionaire. Back to you guys at the desk.
The popular burger parlor In-N-Out is suing retail brand Puma for trademark infringement. In-N-Out lawsuit says that not only the palm tree design on the sneakers are federally protected, but Puma directly marketed the sneaker as a drive-through burger, calling it the Cali drive-through. The red and yellow colors were one thing, but the palm trees appearing on the laces seemed to be the final straw for In-N-Out. The California drive-through sneakers are still available on Puma's website, but they have taken the palm trees off of the laces.
Gianna doesn't just know about tea, she knows about pho too.
I'm Gianna Gravelisi here in Little Saigon, standing outside of what may look like your ordinary pho restaurant, but it's far from that. It's the first restaurant in Orange County to have won the James Beard Culinary Award. I sat down with manager John Nguyen to find out why.
Frankly, we don't know why they choose us.
The James Beard Award recognizes the finest cuisine in the United States, often called the Oscars of the food world, and business has since been booming with happy customers.
When I found out, the pho tasted even better.
The award wasn't much of a surprise though, because this pho is said to be some of the best in town.
I think James Beard, if he were alive today, he come in and he vote for us also.
For Chapman News, I'm Gianna Gravelisi.
Pho will be the perfect treat for this upcoming rainy weekend. Are you gonna grab any, Brad?
You know, I honestly didn't even know what pho was until Gianna taught us all about it, so...
It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Award-winning restaurant. Don't miss an episode of Chapman News. Follow our YouTube channel at chapmannews.tv and our social media accounts at Chapman News. I'm Brad Benson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And I'm Natalie Rawson. That's all we have for you today. Have a great weekend.